that was hot too, man.
Yeah, he stepped on the scene like a 9'9".
And he
You know,
just,
he's like 5'4" or some shit.
yeah, I know he's a little dude. See, check this out. This is something that I didn't know. Like, I know that he was in the Fast and Furious too, and and then they changed up and put Ludacris in. This dumb fucker was asking for more money. He was asking for like Tyrese and other actors' money
Oh, you
because
better get the hell out of here with that.
because he was a bigger star. He was a bigger star than all those dudes at that time, but he wanted more money. And so they was like, you know what, fuck you. So they tried to negotiate with him, and he wouldn't negotiate. And then Ludacris took the job. And now look at
Yo,
Luda.
what's going on? Who's next? Guys, just to
Prepared
let you know,
to,
we are in the middle of
yeah,
pregame right now. I just figured to let you guys talk. You know what I'm saying? Let
yeah.
everybody hear what we was talking about. What's going on, everybody? I know we're a little bit late. We're running on K Mega Diva podcast time right now. Not.
No, hell no.
Okay, Maker, you're falling on that sword, man.
Like, I ain't taking the fall for that.
Should have brought your time machine, dude.
Mega times like 30, 40 minutes. You went way over time. Yeah.
It's all good, man. Yo, guys, I appreciate you guys holding off and waiting, and then coming on when I did get home, and then I had to eat, man, because I didn't really eat anything all day. I was feeling a little dizzy and stuff, so I had to eat real quick. But yeah, we're good to go now. I don't know. I'm pretty excited with the topics we have today. Couple games that I wanna talk about. A little event coming up within about a week, right? Right, Don? A week?
Next week.
Yeah.
For our next podcast. So it's going to happen, and it's going to be done on Friday, and then I will be done on Friday, and then yeah, next is right afterwards. We're actually probably one of the first podcasts after GDC. So
nice. And then of course we got our boy Ryan over there saying that there's no kids in Xbox video games, and the media just going wild over like Xbox should wrap it up and Xbox is done and shit like that. So I kind of figure we should probably talk about that a little bit as well. What do you guys think?
Oh, no doubt.
No
No
doubt.
doubt. Definitely.
All right, and since
He been weird lately, but that's another topic.
He been weird.
We can
He been
add
weird
that
lately.
to the topic because he's been on another level, man. He has been. He's teetering. He's teetering, man. He sounds like he wants to be on the other podcast over there.
The other.
that's fine. Yeah, just
other
let
podcast.
him go over there if he's more passionate about that. I mean, that's where you should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know, but let's kick this off real quick. We have like a real quick pregame. I like how I just kind of like started it off while everybody was talking about Ludacris and all that. But I don't know. You guys ready to check out the intro?
Let's do it.
Nice. Here we go, guys. What's going on, people, and welcome to another episode of the next podcast. Guys, don't mind me fixing this gameplay over here real quick. I had a little off-sized. But, yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday night. We are a little bit late today. My apologies, but the show must go on, and we're gonna have a great show for you guys today. I'm gonna go right into the intros and introduce this incredible panel of podcasters. Let me go with the guy coming live from the 405, and he's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. My boy, K Mega.
Happy Saturday night.
Oh shit, boy, what's happening? Am I out of my spaceship to Mars trying to sell Xboxes? Do I sound fine, everybody? All right, good deal. So anyway, what's happening, everybody? Man, it's great to be on the podcast with my brothers, man, and appreciate you guys that checked out and went through that terrible audio shit that happened at GRG. Definitely will be fixed, man. But let's have a good night. I'm excited. Let's do it as always.
Nice, man. I don't know what you talk about terrible with GRG. I thought we had a great show, and
no, we had a fantastic
it's just
show.
gonna
It
keep
was
getting
just
better,
me
yeah?
sounding like I was coming out of a tunnel.
Well,
I
that's
went
how
back
you
and listened
normally
to
sound, man. People don't realize that. That's how you normally sound. I guess all the filters and stuff you had on the mic were turned off because that is your natural voice, man. You could let everybody know.
Pretty much. I mean, out in Oklahoma, we got all these oil rigs and pipes, so we all talk to these things. So yeah, it's all good.
Nice. Well, next on the list is the king of breakout in Halo 5, and of course, I call him the Wizard of the UWP, but you guys probably know him as Newark NJ.
About the Xbox family. Hope everybody out there doing good. I'm sure Xbox, like you did earlier, apologize for starting a lot of late, not a little late.
A lot of late.
Nah, but important things out there, But everybody enjoy the show, man.
Nice. Thanks, Newark. A lot of late. I'm gonna start using that, man. Just to let you know, that's a new phrase of mine. Yo, next on the list is that chinchilla wearing fool, man. You know this name is coming up when I ask you to stand up, show that respect, and kiss that ring. The Don.
Hey, what's up, guys, man? It's just another week, and some exciting things are happening around the corner. So I'm excited to talk about it on the podcast today.
Awesome. Yeah, I hear you're playing a game that you really like, and I don't think anybody else can play right now. But
yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that, I guess, if we want.
Nice. That would be awesome, man.
We want.
Yeah, it's in the next podcast exclusive, you would say?
Oh yeah, that would definitely be an exclusive, man. Yeah,
nice.
No.
Well, we'll get to that later.
All right, awesome. And of course, man, the next podcast would not be complete without the golden voice, that smooth talker, Fooskis.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm glad everybody can make it too. So, let's have a good show. It's getting late, so let's get it going.
Nice. I know one of the games we're going to be talking about, Ghost Recon. At least I know me and you we've had quality time, not playing the game together, but I think we've had different experiences on that game. So I think that's going to be a great topic to go back and forth with you on, man.
I might surprise you. I don't think it's real different from yours. It's just just something that I think I was going through maybe.
I got
no
you.
one to play with.
I got you, man. All right, and of course, major shout out to the first lady of the next podcast. Oh Snap Suckers, aka Oh Snaps, it's Mel. She will be working tonight, working hard, at her job. I actually I got to witness her doing her thing at her job firsthand today, and I gotta say that place is absolutely bananas. So, major shout out to O Snaps. Just let her know we miss you on the cast. We can't wait for you to come back. As soon as the cookie peddlers let you go for a while. You know what I'm saying? But guys, let's get into these topics. All right. The first one I want to talk about is a beta that I've spent a couple days playing, and of course that is Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's a unique Ghost Recon. It's kind of like an open world type game where yo, Foos, do you remember the country? What's the country that?
Bolivia.
And man, looking at the map and stuff as I was playing this, the map is absolutely huge, and it's only a small part for the beta. I want to go down the list here. Yo, Foos, I'm probably going to save you to the end. I want to see who else has played this or who might have interest in this. And let me go to K Mega first. Yo, K Mega, have you played Ghost Recon Wildlands, the beta at all, man?
I started it up, made my character, but still, unfortunately, haven't had the chance to actually get my feet wet with it. It sucks, but I've been busy doing other stuff, and and so I haven't had the chance. I'm definitely going to get some run with it tonight, though.
I got you. Now, have you seen any gameplay or anything from it at all? Like, watched any videos on it or anything?
Yeah, I've watched people play a little bit. I already knew it was going to be dope from the get, from my opinion, from my standpoint, because I'm a huge fan of the Division. And this is like Division on crack. Just instead of having sponge bosses, you actually be popping people, and it's got a different type of skill set that makes it familiar with Ghost Recon, so it doesn't take away and try to make it just like the Division, but having the 4-player co-op and going in and taking out some drug lords, which is absolutely which is a dope concept, is cool. And then another thing that I do like about it is that it takes something from what is that game? It's right on the tip of my tongue. It came out at the beginning of the year. You had all those orcs. You have orcs. It's from the Lord of the Rings. What is that damn game?
Shadow of Mordor?
Yeah,
Shadow Mordor?
Shadows of Mordor. It has that Shadows of Mordor concept of where like the tier step, like you got a mini boss or like an underling, and if you keep going to that, you keep stacking up until you get to the main boss, which I think is really damn dope. So I can't wait to jump on tonight, and I already have it pre-ordered. I have the deluxe edition, so I'm gonna rock out with whoever's gonna rock out with the game when it launches.
I got you, man. I gotta say, I'm just gonna put in just 2 cents of the 10 cents I have on this game, and I played it for the last couple days, and I gotta say, gameplay wise, I didn't go in co-op. I went in by myself, and I'm using the AI. The 3 members of the team, I'm using the AI as like an extension of myself, because you can mark enemies, right? And then one of the AI will position themselves to get a headshot on that enemy, and then either when you start shooting or you hold your AI teammate will take that dude out. So I've been synchronizing, like clearing out like drug fields and stuff like that, like with the AI. And I gotta say, the single player aspect and being able to control the AI like that, it's actually a lot of fun, man. Let me go to Newark. Yo, Newark, have you tried the Ghost Recon beta yet? And if you did, man, what do you think?
No, I haven't tried it yet. I downloaded it, but
Guys are
from what I'm
killing me,
hearing
man.
now, I think I'm gonna probably hop on it. Pause. Well, tonight after the podcast.
Dan, this should have been a topic for next
Yes.
week, I guess.
It still
I,
can.
I
Yeah,
couldn't put
it
Halo
still can.
down. I'm grinding on Halo, trying to rank up still.
I got you, brother. But
And
yo,
that's
what
about it.
out of what you've seen from like the promotions for the game, any gameplay you've seen or anything like that, is there any like particular feature in this Ghost Recon that I don't know you're looking forward to, that you're excited about, man?
Oh, co-op experience,
All right.
definitely.
All right, I see me myself with seeing how like with playing the single player and having the control of the AI like that. Yo, the co-op experience, I think is going to be tougher, man, because you don't have that automatic headshot on that marked person anymore, and you're really going to have to work together to.
Yeah, it's called organized chaos.
Yeah, dude.
That's what multiplayer co-op is all about. It's the unknowns and the fun random things that occur, and you're like, oh shit, did that just actually happen? And you're like, yeah, it did. And you share that experience with your buddies. I mean, that's what co-op's all about. So
I
And I
got you.
also heard the game supports HDR. In the HDR category in the Xbox store, that was one of the games listed in there.
Dude,
nice.
I can actually, you can almost tell within the graphics, man. Like I don't know, there's a certain look to a game. Like when I first saw like Forza Horizon 3, and like of course the graphics were outstanding, but there was just something a little bit different about it. And then it supported HDR. I think there's a tell. I don't know, Don. Do you kind of agree with me? Like, even if you're not in HDR and you look at a game, you can almost tell like if the game is supporting that feature.
I don't know about that. I mean, I stare at
I
screens
can
all day long,
almost
so
see it.
maybe I become accustomed to it.
Mm.
because I work in that environment and out of that environment a lot. Because when you do like HDR, you can't just take an HDR image and then just like play it on a non-HDR TV or output. Because what ends up happening is you lose a lot of detail. So you actually have to have different settings for non-HDR. So
I got you. I got you. I don't know. It just seems like there's a tell. Like when I was looking at the graphics in this beta, which some of it is really good, and I have issues with a few things, but like I could almost tell. Like I was like, yeah, this game is gonna have HDR. That's gonna be a feature in it. But Don, have you played this game? Do you have any interest in playing the beta? What's going on with you, man?
dude, I have a lot of interest in playing it. I mean, it looked fun ever since they showed it off on in E3. It looks like it got a little bit of a downgrade. There's a lot of like texture tiling and little
Ubisoft
things.
classics.
Yeah, so that's kind of that's what's not. I honestly deflated my motivation for playing the game. I'm like, dude, I got this crazy. And we're talking about crazy backlog, crazy backlog. I knocked one off the list last night. Finally got through Dead Rising 4 or whatever it was.
Hmm.
And so like my opportunities open up a little bit. I mean, I'm play testing my own stuff too, so that's taken up a lot of my spare time to try out new stuff. So
Yo, I gotta say, shout out to Chicken Spaghetti. He's trying to play Stardew Valley and water his plants and stuff, but with us talking about Wildlands, like we're making him lose focus on what he's doing. I guess Chicken's looking forward to the game, man. Yo, Don, with what you were saying about graphics, there's one thing I did want to say about this game in terms of the graphics. I've noticed with this beta, and I know a lot of people are gonna say this is a beta, but I believe the game comes out like March 8th or something like that. Um, a lot of pop-ins are going on, like when you're in vehicles and stuff like that, because I guess the vehicles are going so fast. A lot of pop-ins on the vegetation just kind of appears out of nowhere.
Mhm.
I've noticed a lot of that. And then with what you were saying about the textures, like what I noticed is when a lot of this is when driving a vehicle and stuff, but I've noticed like a pattern in the textures, like
that's tiling.
that's
So
tiling.
yeah, so it's not tile resources. So because people want to draw parallels to certain names they've heard before, right? But what it is just one texture repeated over and over and over again and laid out. And so your brain actually picks up on patterns, and sometimes it's very abrupt when
Yeah,
the next when the same texture starts over again,
yeah.
sort of thing. There are tools, and I don't know how Ubisoft's engines work because I'm just working in Unreal and I've done a little bit of Lumberyard, so I really don't know how their tools work. But there are tools out there. I get feeds and I'm part of the development community. There's tools out there that will actually blend that stuff automatically on the fly with the engine, and that may be simply not being applied. I don't know. And if you look at the difference between when that tool is applied versus it's not, it's kind of like I don't know if it's a post process or on the fly type thing, but what it does is it blends it in, so it doesn't make it look blurry, but you don't get that harshness between when the texture starts over again.
Okay.
And you don't, and it's much harder for you to pick up on the pattern. So it maybe simply is hey, they're going to use that sort of solution, and they just don't have that implemented yet because it is in beta.
Like day one patch or something like that.
Exactly. Like, what I'm working on, for example, right now, it's going to look a lot different than when it's finalized than what it does now, because some stuff doesn't have textures on it. Some stuff does, right? Yeah. So I know the grand vision of what I'm going to have. And so, to my, I fill in the gaps and that sort of thing. But when you have a beta, you just don't know like the workflow of that studio and where they're at. And I really feel like betas need to be a little bit more polished because this is the first impression that you get in the community, and you just don't want people to have like a negative impression of the game. You know what I mean? Because they don't understand. They're not developers, and and even some developers will scratch their head because they don't know exactly how their workflow is, or what they're going to implement, or how their engine works. So there's a lot of things to do before you put this up in beta. And I think you know, for whatever it's worth. So
I got you. Well, you gave me a little hope on that front because, like you said, that whole tiling when it comes to the textures. What I'm talking about a lot is like on the ground, like the bare ground, mud, dirt, textures and stuff like that. That tiling, it was exactly what you said. It was jarring. It made me kind of like my eyes focused right on the pattern in front of me, and I'm like, oh man, really?
It's like having a mole like on someone's face, and the mole's really not that big, but it catches all your attention at all the time, and so it
Yeah.
looks gigantic. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like Cindy Crawford's mole, right? You just stare at it all the time. So yeah, I mean, your brain picks up patterns a lot, especially on that horizon type plane when you see it in a distance like that.
Mm.
And I would imagine also because it has like vehicles like helicopters and stuff like that. I bet you really see it if you get into a flying vehicle and you're looking down. So
Well, yeah, I'll get into helicopters. I'll probably get into helicopters with Foos because I want to ask him about the vehicles and stuff like that. But I gotta say, like graphics, other than that, like seeing the water, like in the tire treads on the road and kind of like the muddy textures and stuff when you're just walking around and stuff like that. The game looks really good, man. I can't lie, like that. It's a really good looking game, yeah.
I thought so too. I thought it was good, like almost as good as Forza.
I wouldn't go that far, man. But you're entitled to your opinion. But dude, Foos, I know you've played the game or whatnot. What do you think about this Wildlands beta? Are you excited for like the whole game now?
Uh, I think so, man. I'm excited when I hear like Newark and everybody saying they're about to go get on it and everything because I've been playing it by myself and it I mean it's good. The people that are with you, your NPCs, they definitely are cool to have them go shoot the other one while you're aiming at the other guy, but it's so multiplayer focused that it needs to be played with your friends, I feel like, and I haven't got to do that.
I got you. Well, we can see what's going on after the show and everything. But
Yeah, for sure.
you said you like the graphics. You think it's a more multiplayer focused game. Uh, what do you think about the vehicles? Because I think a lot of people have had problems with the vehicle physics are or how to like drive, how to fly and stuff like that. Have you had a problem like getting into vehicles and kind of like taking off, man?
Not really. Honestly, I feel like the chopper is a little easier than like a Battlefield chopper to me. I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of I mean it's Ubisoft. Have you ever played like Drive or not Drive Club, my bad. You ever played
Uh-oh.
the crew? It
Oh yeah,
and
the crew. Yeah,
yeah, they feel like that. Like if you it's not Forza for sure. It's something else and it's not exactly good, but it's not bad in my opinion. So if you play those games and you know what those feel like, you'll know what this kind of feels like. But the helicopters, I think, are a little easier than most games I've played, honestly.
I got you. Now, what do you think about the variety of missions? Because with me going in, I've spent quite a bit of time. It's actually the only game I've really played this week for the last couple of days
Oh
was
wow.
yeah, and so I was able to talk to villagers and get them to give me like information about supply drops over here and over there, different weapon accessories, stuff like that. What do you
Yeah.
think about the missions? Do you think they're for what you get in the beta? Is there a big enough variety, man?
From what I played, yes, there was a lot to do. It just seemed like I didn't really get to do it because by the time I would do the little things in between messing around just looking at things, I just didn't get to really experience the whole part of the beta that they have out. I didn't get to Sueño or whatever his name is. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that is, how he's going to be to play him and the change in what it's been playing against just the regular NPCs running around. I haven't talked to nobody yet, but that's kind of the good thing about Ubisoft. With the games that they make, they pay a lot of attention to detail. So I'm sure that that's going to be pretty exciting to play with.
All right, dude. I'm gonna spoil something for you because you said attention to detail. I'm gonna let you know. Just last night, it was me and my crew of AI, and we were just flying around in a helicopter. Right, it was in the middle of the night, and I noticed this light in the middle of the woods. All right, you can see like the headlights on the cars like going around on like the dirt roads and stuff like that. But these were headlights in the middle of the woods. So I found a clear area and I land the helicopter and I go over there and when I start to go over there, there was guys over there, and one of them shot a flare up. And then all of a sudden, I saw another flare shoot up. It was like right near this river. Another flare shoot up on the other side of the river. And then I realized they had this like huge off-road truck. Like they were about to smuggle drugs. Like they were sitting there at a meeting, and of course, me and my crew came in, and we just kind of destroyed that whole thing. We took their off-road monster truck, and then we started driving around town in that thing. So like
wow.
there's stuff like scattered throughout the map that like you could just kind of run into. Yeah, I don't know. I think the variety seems pretty cool. It depends on how big the game is and where the repetition cycle kind of kicks in.
Right.
But in terms of this beta, when they say there's hours of gameplay in this beta, they're not lying. Like there is literally hours of gameplay in this beta.
Oh, I see it. I've unlocked some intel, and it just, the map just starts opening up with what's in it. It's pretty cool. I'm excited to, get to play more of it with my boys because, like I said, I feel like once you play it, it has that or the Ghost Recon feel where you kind of control what your teammates are doing, let them know when to go, when to stop, and things like that. But it would be so much easier for me to just do it by mouth. You get him, I'll get him. It definitely feels like you need to play it like that.
Nice. Well, I guess we'll see tonight. We'll see like how many people from the next panel kind of get together and do this 4-player co-op. Unless anybody has anything else to say about Ghost Recon, I am going to go into the next topic. I'll give you 2 seconds. Ready? 2, 1. All right. Let's talk about Halo Wars 2 because I don't know. This game just recently released. It's a fascinating title to me because here's the deal: you got the Halo franchise tag on it, which tells you big selling game, but then it is a real time strategy game, which a huge chunk of RTS gamers, let's admit, they're on the PC, and RTS gamers are hard. A lot of them are just hardcore RTS. It's really kind of like a niche, kind of like gaming community. So I want to go down the line here with Halo Wars 2, and let's start with Newark. Yo, Newark, when it comes to Halo Wars 2, with it being an RTS but having that Halo tag on it, do you think this game is going to be a success? It's going to sell well, be popular, or do you think it's going to kind of fall off the tracks because of the type of game it is?
I think it's gonna be popular. I watched the countdown to the launch, that stream on Beam, and it was giving away the legendary edition or something like that, like every 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the gameplay, and the gameplay was amazing. It actually reminded me of Halo 5 because they was playing strongholds, but the gameplay is different. And from the review, they were saying it's like the best RTS game on console. So, I like a lot of people play those type of games on PC, and being that it's a cross play title, I think the game gonna be real successful.
All right, I got you, man.
So
Did you pick it
I,
up?
I think no, not yet. That's not like one of the main games. I'm waiting for this Mass Effect, man.
A lot of people are, dude. A lot of people are. Well, let's go down the list here. Yo, Foos, with this Halo Wars 2 game, and it being an RTS, which is, they haven't been known to sell in crazy numbers and stuff like that, but it's a Halo title. What do you think about the future of this game? Do you think of it as it's going to be a success? It's going to sell well. It's going to be popular. Long played. All the good stuff that make a game a success. Or do you think it's going to kind of fall off the tracks, man?
I think it depends on if they can capture what the RTS is on a PC for them PC guys. If they can really do that, they got a success. Not a lot of people on the Xbox that I know played. I'm not really big on the RTS type game, so I'm probably gonna hold off on that one until it's down to greatest hits type thing. But I think it can, as long as they put the right RTS pieces together to put this game on the map for them.
I got you. Now, with that being said, there is something called blitz mode for people who aren't really into that hardcore strategy, building up like your army.
Hmm.
Getting the supplies and stuff to build up your army. Blitz mode is more of like the card based system where you build out your deck and you're able just to, like, to slam down the power cards when you need to. Do you think that's going to help the game for people
Yeah,
who
oh
aren't
yeah, for
really
sure.
into the RTS type deal?
I mean, it gives you the chance to play it without. I mean, for those games, there are those, sit down for a while and tell everybody what to do, build these, ranks up and build up all my bases and all that. So instead of having to do that in a long setting, you can do it quickly and get just a quick match in. So yeah, it's something different, and I think it's going to catch on. Anything that has a competitive feel usually does catch on. So I'm looking forward to it, at least whenever I do get it.
I got you. Now, from what you've seen from this game, man, I just got to ask you one more question. What do you think is the most compelling part of this game? Like, what do you think is going to be that one thing that people talk about for a while when it comes to Halo Wars 2? I'm gonna give you some suggestions as well. Is it going to be the story? Is there a certain character in the game? Is it the gameplay itself? What do you think is going to be kind of like the most talked about thing with Halo Wars 2? I'm just wondering, man.
I think it's gonna be, well, not so much a story. Well, yeah, the story. The cinematic whole part of it. I think people are gonna look at. That's what I'm looking
Them
forward to
blur,
seeing.
them
What's
blur
gonna happen.
created cutscenes.
Oh
Yeah,
man, yeah, and it's supposed to be
Yeah.
better than Halo 2. I haven't seen it personally yet, so I'm excited.
dude, the cutscenes are insane, man. I watched walkthroughs. I watched cutscenes and stuff like that because I didn't have the game. But yeah, those cutscenes are ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
I mean, I'll probably just watch it on YouTube first off. It's not that kind of game that it's really gonna matter what you're playing in it so much. I don't feel like.
Oh, that,
I
that
just don't.
don't if you're planning on like buying the game or whatever, yeah, you could look at the cutscenes all you want. Yo, don't watch the last one though. That's all I gotta say. Don't watch the last one, yeah. Um.
All right, I
All
got you.
right. Yo, Mega, what do you have Halo Wars 2, by the way? I
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I bought the legendary pack.
All right, so you've probably been, yeah, you have been. You were saying this last night how much you've been playing this game. So you could give
Mhm.
us a lot of feedback on this topic. What do you think? Success or failure in the long run?
Absolute success. It touches on both realms. For a newbie or for somebody like myself who hasn't played an RTS in a while, and then get your feet wet. And then for the hardcore, because they have so many modes to wet somebody's palate. Like they have one mode to where it's skirmish. I think that's a 4-player co-op where you're just going against the AI. Then you have, like you said, the blitz, which is more for people who's on the go, want to have quick matches. Then you have the old school Halo Wars, duel, to where people are know what they're doing. They're pros at RTSs, and that's where I think where it's going to shine on the PC side is it's just the head-to-head aspect of it. But the story is absolutely amazing. So far I'm almost done. I'm like two levels away from being done. So I'm probably going to try to finish that tonight, and if not, definitely tomorrow. But I can't say enough for what 343 has done, man. I mean, it sets up perfectly for what's coming down for Halo 6. It's got a darker tone to it. A lot of people say that Halo is kind of Fruit Loopy, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's but now from what's going on with this team, it's really dope. And then also with the Legendary Edition, they give you the original Halo Wars definitive edition. It's not here yet. I think it comes out next week, but they'll add on to that. Texas. I never played the first one. My son, I bought it for my son, and he loved it. He enjoyed it so much that I watched him play a little bit of it, and I was like, oh man. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot because I do like RTSs. I'm more of a Civilizations type of player, or what is that? Command and Conquer. I love Command and Conquer. I love In World, and this it fits right into that, man. It gets well, after the 4th level, it gets nitty gritty, man. It gets hard as hell. And then I did a co-op on the campaign with Livewire, and in the very beginning, we was cussing each other out, talking about, "Hey, man, what the hell are you doing? I'm trying to bring out weapons. You over here keep telling me to do this," and then at the end, we're over here patting each other on the back. "Man, I love you, man. Look at this." Because we went through like hell just to get through just one match, man. It's a wonderful game, man. It should not be slept on at all, and especially how it sets up for what's coming for Halo 6.
Oh, dude, like if you want that setup, and I understand what you're saying about setting up with what's coming for Halo 6. Yo, dude, the last cutscene after the last level, dude, you're gonna drop your controller. I can almost
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Guarantee that shit, man.
I can't wait. I'm telling you, man. I will say this. The main villain is probably one of the coldest villains.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Atriox.
Yeah. That's why I wasn't gonna say to you. I was just gonna let you go into it, but he's one of the coldest villains. He's definitely the coldest villain in the Halo universe by far. But he can rival really strong villain, anybody's villain in any game. He's a bad son of a bitch, man. He's a motherfucker. No joke.
All right, man. Well, let's move on to the Don. Yo, Don, first of all, are you into real-time strategy games, man?
I don't dislike them, but they're kind of very low on my totem pole of like games I enjoy. You know what I mean?
Pole.
Yes, pole. You know, and I did play the first one, and you know, the first Halo Wars didn't really grab me. It didn't really keep me attention. You know, I like Halo and stuff like that, but like it just wasn't my thing. It was done well. I just didn't really enjoy playing on a console. And this is one of the few times I would say I don't enjoy playing it on a console, even though they did a good job. But because of Play Anywhere, I mean, this is definitely, I would say, on my list. It's just after I get through my backlog, that sort of thing. In regards to that, and everyone's saying so many good things about Atriox. I mean, he pretty much wears a warthog as armor, so I don't really know what's going on there. But like, everyone's saying like, yeah, he's cold blooded for sure. So, for whatever that's worth.
Well, from what you might have saw from like the promos, if you saw any gameplay or anything like that, let's get into it. Like, what do you think about like the design of Atriox, or if you know any of his like personality or whatever? I know they did come out with a promo that kind of told his story. I'm not sure if you saw that.
No, I haven't seen it. It's all been like word of mouth.
He's a part of the 40, man.
Yeah, but you know what that's crazy about that is when it's all word of mouth and everyone's saying the same thing, you know, and everyone has to like get it off their chest, if you know what I'm talking about, right? Like they have to talk about it. Like I know every time like I'm in a party with K Mega and it's either Bone, Livewire, or K Mega's playing the game. And it's the first thing out of their mouth is, you know, at least 5 or 6 times I'm in that party. Man, what a badass Atriox is. I mean, he's a likable, cold-hearted, blooded villain was what everyone's describing, and that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to make it. It's easy to make a villain, but it's hard to make a villain that's not cheesy. And then it's hard also to make a villain that's, you know, likable, right?
Yeah.
Those are very difficult things, and if they hit on all those points, good for them.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh no, go ahead, Mega. Now that we've gotten into Atriox, is there anything? Do you want to flesh out kind of like what you're saying about the dude?
Okay, he's the epitome of like, damn, if you wanted to be bad, this is the dude you want on your side. Like this dude does not give a damn. He's all about business. He's cold, man. Like let me just explain how dope this dude is. Like, and this is in the very beginning. I'm pretty sure a lot of people. This is the very beginning of a cutscene. This dude beat the shit out of 3 Spartans with no, not even breaking a sweat. He barely moved, and then like. Master Chief has no choice but to have help. I think he would kill Master Chief. He's that powerful. The Arbiter couldn't fuck with him. I think that this dude is so cold is that you need Team Osiris, you need Master Chief and the blue team, and you need the Arbiter and who they have to stop this dude. Because he's not only got hate for the humans, but he has hate for the Covenant. He's got an army that rivals anything. Like, this dude is beyond anything that I've ever seen in the Halo game, and it sets up Halo 6 to be the most epic shit I've ever seen already off of a RTS. I mean, that's
Dude,
real
I
talk.
think
Halo 6 might be the best Halo that we've ever seen, ever.
He killed one of the
an
Spartans.
interesting point where you said, like, off an RTS, as far as the story goes, this is what's so important about 343. People look at them as they just make a standard Halo game.
Mhm.
They make a franchise. Everything is tied together. Everything has to have consistency. Everything from the toys to real-time strategy games, any other random spit-off, it has to make sense in the universe. And now you have people on RTS. They're just now playing RTS, which has nothing to do with regular Halo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now people are even more stoked for Halo 6, even though it kind of fell flat, I think, on the story for a lot of people. People are just like, bring on Halo 6. Let's do it. You know, how they left the cliffhanger on Halo 5 and how they're doing the RTS, man. This is the reason why, 343 does just Halo, because that's what you got to do to be able to manage it properly.
Yeah,
right. And another thing is that they're doing the Halo series is just like Marvel is doing all of their series, and while people love how Marvel breaks every side story for each of these characters, I think that the gamers themselves were so used to how Bungie did Master Chief that they weren't looking at the bigger picture. 343 is taking Halo to the same lengths as Marvel is doing. It's apparent right now as you see Halo Wars 2, and you see that this war is nowhere near done, and it's going to get more severe and more deadly and more dark than we've ever seen Halo before, man. I think it's epic, man. It's going to be on the same realm of Gears of War. And Gears of War is gritty as fuck. That's my opinion, man. I'm looking at it. Halo's trying to go dark now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if if Halo Wars become successful, that we wouldn't start seeing more real-time strategy games. Like, it might be a Gears of War one down the line. Like, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
I like RTSs. I mean, this was going to be definitely one of those games that was going to be put on my back burner because I have such a backlog. But once I started playing it, the cutscenes drew me in. Then the story started drawing me in, and I couldn't stop playing it. And that's saying something, because I like RTSs, but it's not my first and favorite thing. And for that game to grasp me and make me put down everything else, hey, kudos 343.
I got a question for you, K Mega.
What up?
You play RTSs. I hear a lot of people tell me that it's pointless to play with a controller on an RTS. So how does that play in? Like, how did the controller experience work for you?
It works great. It works fine. I mean, Halo Wars played with the controller, and it worked fine. It's the same game, but it's just better. It's got so many modes that it touches on. It touches everywhere. Like, you don't have to play a certain mode. Like, my son at first was upset because he was like, "Oh, it's this pay to play with this blitz," and he's like, "I don't think I'm going to get it." But then I told him about the rest of the modes, and he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah, it's not really like a pay to play, but if people want to do that, want to buy cards or whatever to have an advantage in that blitz mode, it's not throughout the game. It's only in the blitz mode." And that right there is basically like they're touching on every facet. Like, they're like, "Look, if you don't like this, we got this for you. If you don't like that, we got something else for you." And with the controller, I played it on my PC at first, and it was fine. It played well. It played fine. But I've been playing it on my TV and playing it on my controller the rest of the game. So nice. I have no problems.
Yeah, I heard Certain Affinity, who did basically.
Uh-oh, we lose him.
No, what happened?
He muted. He said we was taking over.
Yeah, what happened?
Hello?
He's like, "I'm out."
What happened?
You guys are making way too much sense.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
muted and probably doesn't know.
I'm muted. All right.
Yeah.
There he is.
Okay.
Hello.
I thought you said I was muted. I was
Man,
like, oh.
we didn't know what to do without you, man. You're all muted, and we're like, what do we do now?
Oh, my bad. No, when it comes to the gameplay with the controller, I will let you know. Certain Affinity, who made the game, they they everything was revolving around the controller for this RTS. So, like all the mechanics, all the options to pick and stuff like that, it was all built around the controller.
You know what's
Nice.
funny about Halo? Halo's actually got a little bit of a history of taking games that are normally typically keyboard and mouse and translate it to a console, to the masses. You look at the first Halo, obviously, right, where everyone thought they were stupid for what they were doing. Obviously, they were wrong, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think the RTS will take off in that particular instance on console, but it proves that it could be done on the console in a controller as well. So I mean, Halo's got that history. I wouldn't be surprised whatever other little spin-off franchises that Microsoft does. It'll be something that's a little bit known in the PC market, but they bring it to the console masses.
Nice, nice. Now, and when it comes to Atriox, I did watch the promo that kind of dove into his backstory, and really fleshed him out as a character. He was a part of something in the Covenant. I believe it was called the 40. They would send 40 soldiers in, whether it's front lines of a war or some type of absolute suicide mission. And the first time they sent 40 in, Atriox was one of those 40. Atriox was the only one to survive. He was the only one to come back, mission accomplished, right? And every time they sent this 40 in, they sent Atriox in as a part of them. It was Atriox and then 39 other soldiers. And every single time, 39 soldiers died. But this bastard always came back, and he started to gather.
So is he more like, I mean, basically the Master Chief equivalent of a Covenant?
That's what it's.
Would
yeah,
that be a fair comparison? Like almost
Yeah.
like a Spartan version of a Covenant person, which they already are stronger than the humans naturally, anyways.
Yeah, he has a resolve like Master Chief. Like but he's a brute. He's just. I mean, well, I'm not saying he's a brute, and he's a brute, but he's a brute. He's one of the monkey looking motherfuckers. He's
a cooler Groot than tartar sauce. You're saying?
Oh man, this dude is yeah, man, yeah. Go ahead, Bot. What I'm saying. Hey, and right now, if y'all ain't seen the cutscenes, check out my gameplay. It's going. Halo Wars 2 is going right now. So
yeah, no doubt.
You get to see the bad boy himself.
Man, I have this love-hate for Blur. Man, they are so damn good at their craft, and that's actually the type of stuff that I do. It makes me jealous of them every time they do shit. But at the same token, man, you gotta love them because, man, look at that. That is gorgeous.
Halo has the best cutscenes ever with them. It's
Absolutely.
ridiculous.
No doubt, no doubt. But Atriox, he's looking to be a badass. I think we're gonna see him in Halo 6 and. Halo 6, like I unfortunately I forgot who said it in the chat, but they were like, Halo 6 has some hype now, and it does because I think they solidified the whole Cortana thing and what was going on with her and her controlling all that Forerunner shit, and now you have this wild card coming in who just a straight badass character, can rival the Master Chief. Can swing a gravity hammer like nobody else I've ever seen, and he's just determined. Like, will go through hell, hot water, anything, man. He is determined to accomplish what he's trying to accomplish, and it's gonna be crazy.
It's almost like the perfect build-up, right? Because they haven't announced Halo 6, but we all know they're going to make it, right? We all know it's in development. Like, they don't stop billion-dollar franchises to do new franchises. They keep those things going. So, realistically, like, you are going to get this interesting wait where we don't, as far as we know right now, we're probably not going to get any other Halo games this year. So there's that build-up until what's going on next year, right? And the talk about Atriox is just going to be rumor mill of them talking about these characters, and people just get into the backstory of all this sort of stuff. And that builds up momentum without really even announcing anything, without pissing people off to say if it doesn't come out next year, it comes out the following year because they haven't said anything when the game's going to come out or if it's being made. So it's like it's the perfect like marketing storm of everything they're doing in regards to that. And I'm fired up. I'm excited. I'm way excited for the next Halo.
Oh hell
Yeah, check it out. You're about to see Atriox right here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and like the Spartans ain't no joke in this game either. Like
no.
you know what I'm saying? They're no joke. They're no joke. And that's what's cool. Like Jerome and then I think her name is Alice. Like those Spartans are some bad motherfuckers, man. They're dope and like and this dude just like hey
Like nothing. Like nothing.
nothing. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
So can you imagine Atriox with like going up against Master Chief and Locke as well? Like that'd be a fight for like the century right there, man.
Right. And then, don't forget about everything else that's involved into the Halo world, the Halo world itself. You still have, the Covenant, you still have I forgot what those other the not the protectors. What are those things? The robot looking things.
Prometheans?
The Prometheans. I mean, it's like wow, like you know what I'm saying? It's really getting serious right now. You know what I'm saying? It's getting crazy.
Yeah, it's like you could see a world like a World War type thing, but in space. Like there are so many adversaries out there. You got the UNSC, you got Oni. On the human side, you got the Prometheans with Cortana on that side. You have that extreme sect of the Covenant. You have what do you guys remember what Atriox's like squad is called? I forgot what it was called. The Banished. The Banished. And you have a group called the Banished, which is basically their own army as well, just run by Atriox. There's just so many different factions like that are ready to like kill each other, going into the next Halo. That this could quite possibly be one of the best Halo campaigns to come out. And yeah, I said that possibly. But let's move on to the next subject. It's there's an event coming out next week. It's called GDC. For people who don't know, it's a Game Developers Conference, and a lot of interesting things have come out around GDC. And Don, I know you follow. You being a developer and everything like that. I know you follow the Game Developers Conference. Can you kind of flesh out what the conference is, and then can you kind of let people know what has come out of this conference in the past in terms of like features and stuff like that, man?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So it's not completely closed off to the public. You don't really need much to get into the door of the conference and stuff like that. But you do need to know people to. They do a lot of like private like speakings on particular technologies. It's a place where people give talks on. I remember Cliffy B giving his kind of piece. I'm out of here on Epic Studios. I remember that talk. He had you can actually watch. It's a pretty interesting talk on franchises and turning like a product into a rubber stamp, and then why publishers don't realize that that rubber stamp doesn't work anymore after so many products, right? And then move on to the next thing, how people burn out. So you hear a lot of very intelligent people in the industry, obviously in the media is there as well. And a lot of things, believe it or not, because you got a bunch of media people, not media people, but you got media people there, but you also got a lot of developers that are there. They're from different studios and they're just talking, they're mingling. You hear people wherever they go to lunch, they end up meeting some random people from other studios and they'll have talks and stuff like that. And nothing revealing like in regards to breaking like NDAs or anything like that, but they just talk because they're their peers. And you hear a lot of leaks. I wouldn't say, I hate to say use the word leaks, but you hear a lot of like industry talk kind of come out of GDC. Give you an example on the Xbox side. You start hearing a lot more about DX12 when they first start talking about after initial Xbox One release, right around GDC time. You start hearing a lot more of what DX12 can do. You start hearing about UWP around GDC. You heard about last year HDR happened. Matter of fact, I remember watching a conference. I don't think it was actually supposed to be filmed because some of those conferences, the small conferences, are not supposed to be filmed or anything like that. Usually shown behind closed doors, and they were talking about HDR in DX12 and how it's being implemented. I thought it was purely for the PC side of things. Lo and behold, and you can go back and look at our episode when we did E3 coverage. How surprised I was the Xbox One S had HDR, and how I made a big deal out of that very early on, because realistically, TVs on the market were just hitting the shelves in a lot of cases with HDR. So that was those are the type of things you hear leaking from GDC. You also heard the PS4 talk, PS4 Pro actually. Before we knew it was the Pro, and before they had that individual event and leaked documents and all the other stuff that kind of came out over the time frame. We That's when all the media guys start hearing about leaks about this new PlayStation. And what is it about? Is it a half step? Is it instrumental? Is it the next PlayStation? What's going on? How powerful it is? You start hearing those sort of conversations that happen from GDC. So I guess the question is, what are we going to hear next at GDC this year with Scorpio right around the corner?
Yeah. Now, with you kind of posing that question, do you have like any thoughts on what might be coming out? Because it just seems like every time when it comes to GDC, it's something that just the regular gamer out there doesn't really expect. Like nobody expected high dynamic range color and stuff like that. In terms of console, and that's what came out of like last year's GDC. Like, can we even speculate on what would be kind of like either leaked out or kind of brought out into public view for like this year's GDC?
Well, and I really think like there's places to look, right? If you're kind of curious and you want to get in there and kind of dig around, looking into what changes, both companies, I mean, all three companies. Let's throw Nintendo in the mix. Let's throw PlayStation with their API, and let's throw in obviously Xbox with UWP, DirectX 12, those sort of tools. Those are the type of things you want to keep an ear to the ground and see what comes out of it, right? Because those are the type of things that give you kind of the inner guts, the inner workings, and that's what they talk a lot about at these GDC, which will actually help you out. And if you're just kind of curious and you're hungry for that news, um, that's where you should look for sure.
I got you, man. Uh, I don't know, yo, Mega. When it comes to GDC next week, do you follow GDC on like a year by year basis? When it comes around, man.
Yeah, I do. Not every year. I do follow it. I definitely going to follow it for my boy Don this year. But it's a cool show. I don't go as far as taking days off or anything. I just catch it later on after I get off work or catch it that following weekend. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. You get to see some new tech, you get to see new things, and I'm excited. I'm always excited to see new things being presented. So I'm happy for it, but it's not like I do. It's not like I take it as serious as I do E3.
All right, now with let's focus on Xbox. Let's be honest here. We're pretty much we prefer Xbox and everything like that. Where with where they've been going this year, they've kind of solidified the whole Play Anywhere feature. Of course, you have the hardware Scorpio and the unveiling either at E3 or a little before time. Like, what do you think can come out of GDC in terms of like Xbox and in the direction they're going? What do you think? Do you think it's going to flesh out more on the Play Anywhere side? Do you think they might unveil something in terms of their new hardware? Where do you think the rumors or leaks are going to go with Xbox this year?
Man, they might go with a little bit of the tech, but I think if anything, they'll go with the UWP side of things. The play anywhere aspect. They'll probably maybe talk about the Microsoft Windows VR headsets. They might advertise those. But yeah, no, I don't think we're going to get anything as heavy with the Scorpio until E3, or if they do an event before E3. I just think that they might throw out something with the UWP. Maybe show some kind of game or something, and keep people in the dark. I don't know, but I just don't see them talking too much about the Scorpio. I still think that they want to keep it somewhat secret.
Dude, to me, this year's GDC is probably a harder prediction than maybe in previous years. If you're trying to think about what might come out of it, because like it almost looks like besides like new games, new IPs, new exclusives that they're also gonna talk about, after the unveiling of Scorpio, like all their cards are kind of out there really. Like we know we're getting the new more powerful system this year. We know a few of the heavy hitters in terms of exclusives that are coming out this year. We know Phil said that there's more exclusives to be announced as well. Like it's to me it's really hard to actually predict anything coming out here.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're pretty much. I would have to roll with you on the whole UWP thing, and I think the
Mm-hmm.
whole VR headset thing. I think that's a real good point as well, man.
Yeah, yeah. They might talk about they might bring up some stuff about Ryzen, AMD, not Microsoft so much, but maybe they might talk about that, that tech, and maybe that gives you an indication of what's coming down the line for the Scorpio. But I don't really see them going.
That's
Yeah.
happened in the past with NVIDIA talking about particle GPU particle acceleration,
Mhm.
which is for like physics-based particles.
Sorry.
And next thing you know, AMD had the same thing, and so did Xbox and PlayStation on their new consoles. So you see it in Killer Instinct, for example, when when you throw a fireball, that thing shoots out glitter like like nobody else, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you do see demonstrations. So you're right. AMD is totally up for not just what Ryzen is, but you have Vega. Vega is this year too.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's a huge thing. So whatever feature sets are unique to Vega, it may be unique to Vega or DX12 in combo. So, I mean, they're not gonna. I don't think they're really gonna say anything about Scorpio, but I'll guarantee you there'll be Scorpio development kits in what I call a fat suit. So basically, it would be it'd be the console shoved in a generic PC case,
Mhm.
and they'd be like, yeah, we're just showing it off on this PC. Um, but that's those are definitely things that are up for kind of seeing what's around the corner as far as what graphics can do on these new pieces of hardware coming around the corner, Scorpio or not. So
Now, do you think now I just read an article this morning that was talking about Intel. They're dropping their prices to compete with AMD. Do you think Intel will try to show something different or new? Because what AMD is doing right now is scaring the hell out of everybody else.
yes,
So
it's disrupting
yeah.
the market, but
Mhm.
Intel had a stronghold on the market. They kind of had it on ransom,
Right.
right? So, it's one of a couple different things. Intel's been doing their processor for quite a while now, even though they have small improvements. The question is, has the cost of those processors gone down? The answer is, well, yes.
Hmm.
And they were just trying to keep the price as high as possible until they had some competition, and AMD challenges that right now, right? So,
Right.
I don't know if they'll introduce pricing or anything like that, or anything along those lines, but they may talk about a lot about network type stuff
Mhm.
on the Intel side of things, because that's a big part of infrastructure and in game development, I would guess.
Okay.
Well, yeah, well, I was seeing what Chicken was saying, but no, the article said they are dropping the prices. Excuse me, they are dropping the prices to
Yeah,
be comparable because they have
that
no
doesn't surprise me.
choice.
Yeah, that
They
doesn't
they, they have no
that,
choice.
that doesn't surprise me. Otherwise, your stuff sits on the shelf. I mean, to give you an idea, like you can go to any pre-built PC, like, gaming type PC company. We're, typical iBuy Power, whatever HP is doing, whatever Dell's doing, all those guys. And literally, you see their i7 processor rigs with 16 gigabytes of RAM at a minimum, and like a GTX 1070 or possibly a 1060, one of those two. Um, those machines have dropped a lot in price. I mean, what I mean by a lot, I mean a lot in this last month, because you got a lot of these manufacturers that make their own PCs and market to gamers, and they're afraid they're going to be stuck with all this hardware that's overpriced.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense.
I got you. Yo, Newark, I know you like following, tech news, stuff like that, especially, when it comes to Xbox and stuff. Do you follow the Game Developers Conference on a year-to-year basis, man?
Yeah, I actually sometimes there's conferences, most of the time there's not. So I just usually look at the tweets, whatever.
I got you. Now, with that being said, what in terms of like any information to come out this year, and this is like purely hypothetical, just kind of coming off on the direction that Xbox is going with UWP, with Play Anywhere, with their new hardware. I mean, I love what Don said about possibly having like these like closed door talks about like Vega with DX12 and stuff like that. What do you think is going to come out of this year's GDC in terms of like news for Xbox, man?
Like every year, none. Game developer conferences, I know we probably get like a lot of direct X12 news talk. I don't think there's going to be anything there. Probably little behind the door, closed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Behind closed door stuff. My daughter is like my shadow right now. And I honestly think that what I want to see from them is new versions of game engines, because a lot of these visuals are starting to look very outdated. Even
Damn,
even if we
already?
All
well,
right.
it's
Yeah,
four
really?
it's 4 years, the average life cycle of a console. I mean, we had graphics like Rise and we never saw it again, and 4 years ago. So even when the Scorpio come out, it would be nice if we get, being that games are starting to get developed on the Scorpio platform. But it would be nice to see new game engines instead of just higher res versions of.
Unreal Engine 4 is a monster, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
that.
like,
That thing is ridiculous. That's the
yeah.
one.
And you remember last gen Unreal Engine 3. Tatiana, goodbye. Unreal Engine 3 was used for everything. But
Yeah.
like, 4 is not being used that much. I'm sure they're working on titles, but
Well, no, it totally is. So what's going on there is, like, when you develop a game, right? You're developing your game for 3 years. A lot of AAA type titles that really show off Unreal Engine, right? Well, they built it on older tech, and so they're not quite ready. And so, like, porting it over to the new engine, like, basically breaks the game, if that makes any sense, right?
Yeah.
So they have to finish what the game is, what they made, and they build it into the existing engine. But going forward, I mean, I know 3 games are playable at GDC running on Unreal Engine 4, specifically,
I'm
just
still
because.
waiting for visuals like the Infiltrator demo. Like, these was games that,
We've
like that
already,
was promised,
but
you
Newark,
know.
I hate to tell you this, but in some ways we've already surpassed what that demo has done.
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't
Just in
seen it.
Gears, I can tell you we have.
I
With
haven't, not even
polygon
in
count, texture
Gears of War.
mapping,
I
in
mean,
subsurface scattering, we've surpassed it, but it's been such a gradual thing getting to there. It wasn't that stark contrast. But I mean, go look at those demos again, like the
I
not
did. I actually watched it today. It's just the
but
photorealistic look of the game.
yeah, but I mean, we've surpassed that. We have better lighting engines. We have a lot of stuff that's better now that's being implemented into games. I just looking at what I've just imported, like some models in my own personal title into Unreal Engine, and I'm still blown away that how it actually ends up looking and running in real time.
Right. Like I mean,
It
just look at
surprises me.
just look at what Tekken 7 is looking like. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not even close. And
I'm
then
gonna
you
be
can just
honest.
go ahead.
The Watch Dogs tech demo.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other game? I forget the name of the game, but those tech demos, like they said that they had to downscale the games, Like I go back and watch those demos all the time. I'm like, yo, if the game looked like this. I mean, with these new generation consoles that's coming out, I'm sure, like with the
Right. That's
PS4 Pro and
You
the
know what those
Scorpio, I'm
demos
sure we
were?
can get those
You want to know what those demos were running on?
mm-hmm.
high-end PCs.
3 T-flop machines.
Right. Oh yeah,
3
your PCs.
T-flop machines. I repeat that. So we're already past that. We
Yeah,
are.
just every look. You got to understand too that these games has been in development for years, so
Yeah.
it's got to take time to catch up. It's just like any other game that just like the 360 generation, 360 PlayStation 3 generation. By the end of that generation for both systems, you start seeing visuals that was like mind blowing with The Last of Us and with Halo 4. So
Yeah, exactly.
and so now they still were. There's still developers that were still working on other games to make primarily for the Xbox One and for the PlayStation 4. It's just that they were working on old tech. You're going to start seeing it really happen. I mean, I'm already seeing it myself. I mean, just look at Final Fantasy. You would have never had a Final Fantasy look like that last gen. It was impossible.
Yeah.
So what we're getting ready to see is some stuff that's on a grand scale that I think will blow your mind. I mean, I'm seeing it already, but I mean, I get your point. People are looking at pretty games, but they want that next level, they want that next level looking game. Like Horizon Zero Dawn, from the visual side of it, from what I've seen, I haven't played it. It looks amazing, right? But I'm hearing that they're using gimmicks like fog and stuff to take away from their from the the downsides of the game. But
Yeah.
the photogenic look and all of that looks really good. I mean, and you can see stuff with Horizon 3 where that new tech that they're using, where do you see the movement of the clouds and just the detail of what's going around the surroundings. That looks amazing to me, but it is what it is. I'm not going to knock what you're saying. I mean,
what's getting me excited? Like what's getting me excited is that EA is using Frostbite for Madden now. Like I'm excited for that.
And this man is really, really hot, really hot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Madden 18 will be using Frostbite engine, so that's good.
Yeah, and that was another thing that I was going to say was the EA engine, because just look at Battlefield 1. That, I mean, we were looking at.
I was blown away when I seen Battlefield 1 when I started playing it.
Well, I think we was all blown away looking at Battlefront. You're like, damn, this Star Wars game look real, and then on people's high-end PCs, it even looks more serious. But then when you get Battlefield 1, it looks the same, and it looks a little bit better because it's a bigger game. So I can't wait to see what's coming. And then what the problem with not the problem, but the excellence of what the Scorpio is going to do. It's going to make these older 360 backwards compatible games look better. They're going to make them. They're going to look. Look better. It's just like you bought a game off Steam and you had a high-end PC.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Look better. That's what's going to be amazing. That's what's going to I think it's going to shock a lot of people.
Dan, interesting discussion all the way around, man. I really can't. I really can't put a finger on something that I think would be kind of brought out of the Game Developers Conference this year. I've been trying to think and I do like I said, I like what Don said about with Vega and DX12 and having some closed door talks and demonstrations on that. I definitely think stuff like that will happen. But yo, Foos, what do you think, man? What do you think might come out of GDC, like purely hypothetical, with kind of like the direction that Xbox is going with the UWP, with the new more powerful hardware? What do you think is going to come out of this, man?
I'm gonna go off like a couple tweets that I've seen recently about a new user interface, and if Don's really saying that, most people are gonna get a chance to play with it in a way, like in a computer box or whatever, I think that we might get a leak of something for a new interface if that's true. I mean, I seen one tweet saying something about Project Neon.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really going to happen because that's not really apparent to other game developers. Does that make sense?
Ah,
So
okay.
usually, what they like to show is something that makes their
So
job better, easier, or you can shift resources. It's all
mhm.
about the development, that sort of
So
thing.
is
But
that what the motion design language for that is? Is that
yeah, that
because
that's
okay.
that's that's some I wouldn't even put those in the
But that
same
would be
thing.
interesting. I would think that would be cool if they came out and showed some kind of an interface secret that they've been keeping.
Yeah, unless it helps out their development, who knows? That's the thing. That's the fun part of speculations because we don't
Hmm.
we don't know. But if there is something that helps with their development that's huge, then yeah, then you may see a leak out of that.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know, when it comes to the game developers conference, Don, is there anything that you would like to say? Are you going there? Is there anything you might want
Yeah.
to tell?
Well, yeah. Well, I am going there. I am doing some stuff behind a closed door with some other presenters and stuff like that. In regards to Unreal Engine and what I'm doing with my title, I have a small demo. That's what I've been sweating about right now. And I'm humbled and excited and nervous and all that sort of stuff. But I really think the big thing that you guys are all going to hear, and this is, and I'm already starting to hear it now, but this is where this stuff starts leaking out to the public if people are watching. You're going to start hearing a lot more positive news from the development side in regards to Microsoft. They really have got this multi console generation thing figured out. This was a big plan, a big undertaking, and I think they really have had this plan for a really long time. So you're going to hear a lot of more positive things about developing on just the Xbox ecosystem. Let's call it what it is, right?
Yeah,
And you're just going to hear a lot more positive things, and that trickles out to the media because if regardless if we feel like the media's got a chip on their shoulder or not, right? They have to report their news, and if the only news is basically positive news for Xbox, eventually they have to say something about it, right, or react to it in some sort of form or fashion. So you're gonna, if you win over, I say you have to win over three different categories. You have to win over the gamer, right? You have to win over the developer, which is another type of customer for Microsoft, and you do have to win over the media. Now, technically, you only have to win two of those three to make your product successful. To be honest with you, because the third one will always follow the other two, if that makes any sense. Whatever it ends up may being, right? So in the case of the media, they're the ones that are holding out because they're getting paid for negative reviews and stuff like that on Microsoft. Well, if they're good buddies that work at, say, EA or Activision or wherever, right? It's talking really positively, and they keep talking. That's the typical conversation they have. Then that's going to spill over into the attitude of the media in one form or a fashion. So I think that's what I've been hearing a lot is the media is not media, but the development community is excited about what Microsoft's been doing, and it's been very, very positive so far. So
nice, nice. I mean, all in all, like there's always something that comes out of GDC. Even like when it does come out, there's a lot of speculation as well. Like the DirectX 12 and stuff like that. It's usually not like the game announcements or the stuff that us gamers really look for, but it's the stuff that people that like to look into things really like grab hold of and start trying to make sense out of like the information that's coming out. And so that makes it like GDC every year for me is something to get excited about. Any little shred of information, like I try to grab it and try to fully flesh out what is going on in terms of Xbox and Microsoft and stuff like that. So it's a good time of the year. But guys, I know I left one topic on the table, but unfortunately, we gotta wind down now, and so we have to go in and do all the outros now, including the Dead Sea Scroll that is K Mega's outro. But I want to take this time and thank everybody who came in and watched the show live. Again, I do apologize for being late. That type of stuff's gonna happen from time to time. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of life stuff going on around my house, like out looking at apartments and houses and stuff like that. It's a really cool time to be in this house right now with me, snaps, the kids and stuff. So, but yeah, thank you for coming and joining us. A lot of late, as Newark likes to say. But speaking of Newark, man, why don't you let everybody know where they could get a hold of you? Basically, you know the deal, man.
Sorry, Mike was muted. Mike was muted. Yeah, y'all can follow me at NorkNJ360 on Twitter. Y'all hear me raging on there sometimes, but it's all love. And y'all can also holler at me on Xbox Live at NorkNJ360, which also is the screen name on my Bing. Everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Awesome. Yo, Foos, man, why don't you let everybody know where they could get a hold of you? I know Twitter doesn't really do the voice thing, so they can't hear that golden voice, but you could definitely, type back stuff and stuff like that. Why don't you let them know where they can find you, man?
Yeah, Twitter might not do that, but I don't know what it is about the voice. I never even knew it was a thing until you told me about it. But yeah, you can check me out on Twitter and Xbox, all of it. It's all Fooskies. Hit me up. We can play some games, chat, whatever.
Nice. And like Foos said, I think he's going in on that Ghost Recon tonight. So
Oh
definitely
yeah.
definitely look out on Xbox for him there. Um, Yo, Don, man, you said a lot of stuff tonight in terms of GDC, in terms of like your game, a bunch of good stuff, man. Why don't you let people know, anything else you've been up to and where they could get a hold of you, man?
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me usually is a link below the video, but I'm pretty sure that's not there today. Uh, but if you want to get a hold of me on Twitter, it's the Don underscore KTR, which stands for Kiss That Ring. My gamer tag is associated with that. Instead of an underscore, it is a space. And I am probably going to be playing for games from a hotel room and things like that this week. And basically from there, I'll be a tired person come next Saturday. So
Got you, man. Yeah, I could just imagine, man. You're gonna crash like after the show and everything on Saturday, but it sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun, man.
it's gonna be can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah,
All week, right? So
no doubt, man. No doubt. Yo, Mega, man, you got that scroll ready? Like it's unrolled and everything. Let everybody know.
Yes.
All right, man, do it.
All right, let's go. All right, now first off, I will say this. John Thomas the Gamer is a new YouTuber and he needs subs. So guys, check him out. Get out there. You rock with my boy. He's part of he always comes in and checks out the next podcast. You know what I'm saying? We've all started at zero and we've all had to go through the hardships of growing and dealing with haters and the beautiful thing is dealing with supporters. So support every YouTuber that you can that you know that represents the platform that you know and love, man. And saying John Thomas the Gamer needs y'all support. So check him out. Check me out at BGST. Big shout out. Check everybody out from Intro Media Gaming. The next podcast, and now GRG podcast, the GRG podcast, man, when Don would stop nursing these damn wolves out there in Utah in the caves, hopefully he can get on and be part of the full panel. But I understand he's got to work.
Constantly changing, man. Constantly changing. If it wasn't constantly changing, like in the middle of the week, man, I would be there in a heartbeat.
It's
whenever,
all love, man.
Yeah,
it's
man. Whenever I'm free, I always about anybody in the community when
it's really, what, the one thing I can commit XBot for doing is getting this panel together and dealing with people from really every coast And that's the thing that I'm learning to have to adjust with, as well as trying to deal with the technical issues and everything. It is not easy, but it's all worthwhile when you have people that listen and they support your channel, man. And so big ups to my brother, man, Xbox448 for one hell of a show. And and hey, check us all out, man. Support. Give us love, man, because we're doing the Lord's work, man. We trying to give y'all that real information, man, while the others don't. And my last thing, Microsoft, get the developers on your side and get the gamers on your side. Fuck the media, because the media they're only one-trick ponies. They wear pumps and they walk around the alleyways, man, just for the next dollar. So go ahead and get those two, and let's keep it gaming. Everybody have a good one, man.
Nice. And guys, that's pretty much. Somebody watching TV?
What is going on? There's always somebody, man.
That's pretty
Always
much
that one guy.
I know who that guy is, but anyway, that's pretty much the show for tonight, guys. Again, thank you for showing up and catching us live. For anybody else who catches the show afterwards, it is greatly appreciated. But it is Saturday night. I know there's a lot of gaming that needs to be done over this weekend. As I always say, guys, if it wasn't for the people that you guys that come in and check us out, this is really your show, because you inspire us to keep going, to reach further, to do more, with this show, and to create, gaming news and entertainment for you guys, and we really do appreciate it. Like I said, it is Saturday. Go ahead, guys. Get to gaming, and as I always say, we will see you next Saturday on the next podcast. Have a good weekend, guys.
Peace. While somebody playing music acting like Bam Bam.